Hi, thanks for joining us today. I'm here with Denise Dubois, owner of Complexion Spa for Beauty and Wellness. Complexions has been in business for 30 plus years in the capital region with 2 locations now. So Denise, if you'll tell us, how did you get your start and what was behind the concept of Complexion Spa?
Well, we're going way back, okay, all the way back to 1987. And actually at the time there were no such thing as a day spa. So I was literally, when I first started aesthetics, I got my aesthetic license in Boston because there wasn't even a license at the time for aesthetics in the state of New York. So I went to school in 1984, came back, worked in a hair salon, classic, one room in the back of the salon, doing facials, and decided that that really wasn't how I wanted to do skincare. So Complexions Professional Skincare was born in 1987. A few years later. And over the years, we just kept evolving, and in 1987 is when we opened, and then we expanded a few times in our first location. And the industry was starting to change and becoming more about wellness, so we started to introduce services like massage, and we did actually add a hair styling stations and then nails, and moved across the street into the old Spa Lady location in Wolf Road Shoppers Park and introduced a sauna therapy. And then quickly outgrew our space there. And in 2007, we moved on to Wolf Road, and that really changed our business drastically by having that direct visibility right on Wolf Road. And we became a full-blown spa facility with locker rooms, all the amenities, and really were able to transition and truly promote the wellness experience.
So when I met Denise, you were just going through another expansion and adding a significant amount of square footage to the existing space that you had. Yes. And about 2008 is when you had opened and kicked off that new expansion. But what I find extremely interesting is the fact that you took on it yourself, you and your family, to go through the whole Gold LEED certification process for new construction. Tell us a little bit about that feat, because you're really a pioneer and looking back at 2008 for the spa industry.
Well, I remember I really was inspired. I was actually away in Florida at a business conference and met some people who were talking about green building. And this was at the time when we were building our new location on Wolf Road. And it's just a perfect marriage to have a green building and be offering wellness services in that environment. So not only is it beneficial for the people who work for us, but it's also beneficial for the customers who visit us, and then of course for the environment and the community. So it was a perfect next step in the whole wellness environment.
So you didn't stop there. You decided to add a second location in Saratoga Springs. Yes. That is celebrating 5 years?
Yes, it is.
So tell us a little bit about the difficulty in operating a second location and some of the challenges that you faced and have overcome.
Well, I'm very excited to be in the Saratoga community. We've made a lot of new friends there. The biggest challenge, we actually did a lot of research before we even opened up, and you helped us with that. We did a focus group, and we really wanted to learn what the community in Saratoga wanted. So that really drove our mission of what we were going to offer there. So it is a smaller location. We have a smaller hair salon. We offer nails, massage, and of course all of our skincare services and some of our med spa services there as well. I think the biggest challenge with opening a second location has been just trying to build the same culture and team environment that we have in Albany, which has been around now for 32 years. So we took a few of our key people and we moved them up to the Saratoga location. And they had to grow, and we had to nurture that growth. And we did go through a merry-go-round ride of hire, fire, quit, until we got to where we are today, which is a wonderful team. Saratoga has great energy, and we were able to eventually duplicate that same culture that we have in Albany.
Let's talk a little bit about that. So how is it and why is it important that you have to continually evolve? I mean, you travel the world and you do visit a lot of these spa locations during your travels. How do you bring back some of those treatments so that residents in the capital region can experience those? How do you incorporate that into the business?
Well, our industry is definitely continuously changing and evolving, and it really it goes along with even the lifestyles that we're living. People need and are actually accepting and seeking ways to de-stress and to feel better. Being a part of organizations like the International Spa Association, New York State Spa Association, and even the Global Wellness Organization, these organizations are on the forefront, and they invest a lot of amount of money in research, and they're telling us where the trends are headed. And I really feel a responsibility to our community to make sure that we have those same services available right here in the capital region.
Let's take a look at skincare and talking about that, along the lines of services and treatments that you offer. Not a lot of people are that informed when it comes to some of the products that they're using on a daily basis, and the issues it can cause for them in their skin. Mm-hmm. You've decided to take it upon yourself to launch your own clean skincare line. Mm-hmm. What has that process been like? What have you learned from it?
Wow, this has been a labor of love for the past 3 years, because starting a skincare line, you can actually go a couple of different routes. You can buy stock formulas right off of the shelf and just put your label on it and say you have your own brand, or you can really go the route that we did, and I actually first started 3 years ago with a chemist and dialed it back right to my roots are always about educating the client and how the understanding that they have to have on how their skin functions. So we started with that, identifying that, and how are we going to help our guests, our clients, to reach their skincare goals, keeping a process of skincare really simple. It doesn't need to be complicated. But then also formulations today, what happens, and part of my motivation to have my own skincare line was also because the internet has really changed business today, and what happens is all these brands, they come out with these great product lines, and then they get bought out by bigger companies, but then they start to change the formulas and they cheapen down the ingredients and they're not as effective. So I wanted to have more control over that as well. So we just worked with this chemist, and we're using education and science of how the skin works, put together a program, but I have control over the product line now with good formulas that are going to stay consistent at the levels of active ingredients so our clients can really get the results.
So that's something that you're looking to launch locally, but ultimately your goal might be to take it bigger.
I'm going to start by, we used our current client base and our clinical experience, and we coupled that specifically for our guests at the spa. And my husband has a plastic surgeon's office. We're going to promote them there as well, or provide them for the patients there. That's going to be our first audience, our first market. And I am involved with other salon and spa organizations, and I know some friends who would be interested in having a clean formula at the clinical levels where they know is not going to get sold out and dummied down with the ingredients. So we'll see where it goes. I did explore some retail outlets, but I don't want to get myself too far down the road without just getting launched here this fall. So,
what's one piece of advice that you could offer to someone who is up and coming in the industry?
Breathe. Gosh, it's such a hard one. I think developing really good communication skills, not only with coworkers or if you're a leader and you're managing others, but communication skills, how you communicate with your guests, how you communicate with your coworkers is so important. So I think really developing solid communication skills is so critical.
What was one of the biggest challenges that you faced in growing the spa to 32 plus years?
The biggest challenge is learning how to be a good leader, and hopefully, and hopefully inspiring, others and the team that I work with to provide the care, the standard of care that I strive for. So I think you have to inspire others to want to follow that lead. So I think that's been the biggest challenge.
Great insight, Denise. Well, now not that this wasn't the fun part, because it was, but what we have coined the Baker's Dozen. So what this is 13 questions that are rapid fire questions where you'll give us maybe a 1 or 2 word answer, so we can get to know you a little bit more.
All right.
So I'll begin that. All right, first, who's your celebrity crush?
That's an easy one. Adam Levine.
I knew that one. What is your favorite adult beverage?
Vodka. And then tea.
Right? You have to detox afterwards.
Yes.
Would you rather spend money on shoes or pocketbooks?
Shoes.
Girl after my own heart. What's your number 1 beauty secret?
Drink lots of water.
That's a good one too. Favorite TV series?
Oh, Game of Thrones.
Sweets or carbs?
Oh, I do have a sweet tooth. I'd have to say sweets.
What's the last book you read?
Vitamin A. I'm always reading books. It's honestly the name of it.
Best Capital Region restaurant in your opinion?
Oh gosh, Capital Region. Oh my gosh, I really love 15 Church. I love Prime.
How often do you get facials?
Once a month.
Okay. Did you ever break wind in yoga?
Oh, no. Thanks, but no.
Just had to ask. Only because we've done yoga together. Might be good to know. Biggest pet peeve?
It has to do with work. Not capturing a client's email address.
That's a good one. Go-to swear word?
Oh. Go-to swear word. I don't think I can say that here.
Oh, you can. Let it fly. What's one question you want to ask our next guest? And we can't tell you who that's going to be.
Oh gosh. What keeps you inspired?
Wonderful. Thank you so much for this great insight
what a
into
pleasure.
who you are and the spa, the brand that you built throughout the years, because it truly is a staple here in the Capital Region community. And I wish you continued success.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure being here.
Thanks for your time, Denise.